Hello and welcome to Election Brief. Today, suspend party supporters who invoke curses on national executives over disqualification of their preferred candidates. That's the order by the MPP General Secretary to constituency executives.
In the constituencies where these unfortunate incidents happen, to immediately suspend all those involved in this awkward behavior whilst instituting appropriate disciplinary actions against them.
We'll hear from him as he outlines the modalities for the party's upcoming primaries later this month. Also, the battle between the NDC and MPP over infrastructural projects continues. We'll hear from the opposition party as a response to President Akufo-Addo for describing projects under the Mahama administration as fictional.
If President Mahama had not constructed roads, and the roads exist only in the Green Book, why is President Akufo-Addo paying contractors?
Meanwhile, the party has launched what it calls the Corruption Tracker series. We'll tell you all about that. And later in today's package, as separate groups in the Northeast and Upper West regions agitate against the Electoral Commission's insistence to push ahead with the compilation of a new voters register.
Only about 26,000 of the about 700,000 residents of the Upper West region possess the Ghana card.
Stay with us. It's a packed bulletin. Thanks again for your company. I'm Arba Kumsin. It's a new week, but the politics continues unabated. As expected, we start off with the governing MPP, which is today directing its constituency executives to suspend party supporters who invoked curses on national executives over the disqualification of their preferred candidates as the party's parliamentary primaries approach. You would recall last week we told you some MPP delegates were invoking curses on the party over alleged plots to disqualify some MP aspirants. Well, today, the General Secretary of the party, John Boydu, who is upset by the development, argued that some of the aspirants voluntarily agreed to withdraw from the primaries, insisting the actions of the supporters do not reflect the ideals of the party. Mr. Boydu believes the directors will bring sanity and restore order at the various constituencies. He's been speaking to the press to outline the modalities for the upcoming primaries.
The conduct of some members claiming to be invoking curses on the party leadership, and in particular on members of the National Executive Committee, on allegations that their preferred candidate have been disqualified by NEC from contesting in the primaries. We are completely appalled by such gross misconduct. Accordingly, the party is instructing the respective constituencies or constituency executives in the constituencies where these unfortunate incidents happen to immediately suspend all those involved in this awkward behavior whilst instituting appropriate disciplinary actions against them in line with Article 3 and 4 of the party's constitution. And this one we are going to enforce to the latter, because party leadership go into a meeting, National Executive, National Council, that is made up of almost everybody that matters in this party. Through a lot of deliberations, we take decisions. We've not even announced the decisions. Then people who think that they are more MPP people than all of us will resort to such behavior. That is almost alien to our politics. And this is something that the New Patriotic Party is not going to countenance at all. At all. These are candidates that are active, loyal members of our party. Before we even come to the list, there are a lot of them that have come to us for discussions. There are a lot of them that they think that they are not being cleared or recommended by the National Executive Committee or the National Council because of one allegation or the other. There are a lot of them that they themselves have agreed to graciously withdraw from the primaries. Then you, as an ordinary supporter, not knowing what discussion may have gone on, will rather be raining curses on innocent people. I think that this is something that we are not going to countenance. We will make sure that rules and regulations, particularly our disciplinary measures, are instituted to instill discipline in our party. It cannot be said that a noble party with rich tradition, like the New Patriotic Party, will get some members of our party exhibiting such crass and crude behavior against their own party.
So still at that news conference, the party released guidelines for the conduct of its June 20th parliamentary primaries. Mr. Boadu also confirmed the list of aspirants who are qualified to contest in the primaries next week, Saturday.
Turn or not, we have Honorable Frida Prempe. She's going unopposed. We have Esutifi North. We have 4 people contesting. Joseph Dahan, William Frimpong Bonsu, Patrick Bano, Stephen Kwekumenu Akuoko. Esunafo North, we have Ivan Sopoku Bobie, Paul Jan, Farouk Nkrumah, 3 people contesting. When we come to Ashanti region, we have Adansi Asokwa, 2 people contesting, Honorable Kobna Tahir Hammond and Samuel Benfo. If you come to Efija Kwabre North, Samson Opoku Ware, Collins Adumako Mensa, Mafo Nana Mendiampon, Peter Entry Boisiakon, Raymond Opoku Daniel Jete Ajari, as those contesting for Efija Kwabre North. Efija Kwabre South, we have William Oreku Edu going unopposed. Efija Sejre East, Honorable Mavis Nkansa Boadu going unopposed. I have for Anon North, Honorable Suleiman Ademu Sanid going unopposed. I have for Anon Southeast, Honorable Francis Menu Adabo going unopposed. I have for Anon Southwest, Johnson Kweku Edu going unopposed. I remember in one of these Ahafo constituencies, there was this gentleman who put in application to contest. And when he appeared before the National Parliamentary Vetting Committee, in interrogating him, we realized that he was only contesting because when he contested as an assembly member and presiding member, the support that he was requiring from our fraternity he was not getting, and believed that he's popular, he's on the ground, and will win. After some extensive deliberation, I'm only taking you through what happens at most of these vetting committee sessions. Taking him through discussion and looking at his future and what he can do. He's a young student lawyer and very promising. At the end of the day, he himself accepted that he wants to withdraw his candidature and support the sitting member of parliament. We even offered to give him back his filing fee and nomination fee. He said no. It is his contribution towards the running of the party. These are the kind of things that goes on in most of these places. So most of these places that you see people going on opposed, it's not because there are no people who are eyeing to contest, but because of in the spirit of the party and the interest of the entire party, a lot of our people are stepping down for others to contest. A Crofone constituency, we have Alex Blanson, Faustina Araba Boache, Pobi Kwabna, Francis J. Amponsa, Safu Abu Maxwell, Charles Cranche, Donko. Asante Akim North, we have Honorable Ande Apiakubi, Honorable Kojoban Ajiman contesting.
Well, even before the party released the list, there were agitations by some supporters of disqualified aspirants in the Asokwa constituency. MPP organizer Eric Osei said the party should have opened up for contest in the parliamentary primaries. Dr. Nanaya Boache was disqualified by the National Executive Committee from contesting Patricia Ipieje, who was running unopposed. Ms. Osei believes opening up for a contest would have brought finality to a long-standing dissatisfaction among party members concerning the performance of their MP.
I believe in democracy. I was of the view that they should allow a fair contest. So whoever wins, then we all rally behind that person. But if you impose the candidate on us, in fact, it can set in voting apathy. Because most people are crying out that I can say I'm accusing the MP that they haven't seen a lot of development from her. So I was expecting that they should allow fair contest for each and everyone to contest, because the doctor is also a party man. So if he contests and he loses, then he joined the winning team. Then we all move the party forward. But looking at how the team has been skilled, in fact, the grassroots people, they are not happy about this happening.
You're still watching Election Brief with me, Araba Kumsin. We'll go back to the MPP, but let's turn our attention on the opposition NDC now, which has been responding to jabs thrown at it by none less than the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. You will recall that last week at the commissioning of the first phase of the Tema Motorway Interchange project, the president cast doubt on the Mahama administration's projects. Watch.
A pledge to the Ghanaian people to expand and improve the road network while closing the missing links in the network. We had to make this pledge because we know that the so-called unprecedented infrastructure development of the Mahama administration was fantasy, existing in the Green Book and not on the ground.
Well, the NDC is criticizing President Akufo-Addo for describing the projects under the Mahama administration as fictional and only existing in the Green Book. The NDC argues that the president's claim demonstrates his deficiency in paying attention to detail. Former Deputy Communications Minister Felix Kwakye Ofosu, citing a number of projects constructed under the Mahama administration, including the Ridge Expansion Project, the University of Ghana Medical Center, and the construction of some road projects, questioned why government would proceed to release 2.2 billion cedis to clear debts owed road contractors if they claim the roads only existed in the Green Book.
It is possible that despite having heard about it, President Akufo-Addo has never cited a copy of the book and has thus not had the opportunity to peruse it, in which case he would have been compelled to rely on the same pedestrian propaganda of low-level MPP communicators. For the avoidance of doubts, there is not a single project in the Green Book which does not exist on the ground today or for which clear context has not been provided regarding its status. Anybody interested in the truth would simply match what is in the Green Book to what exists on the ground. Such an exercise, ladies and gentlemen, will yield only one outcome, which is that the work shown in the book are as real as they come, and evidence of them are abundant. How can President Akufo-Addo, for instance, look the people of Ghana in the eye and say that the Rage Hospital does not exist, when everybody knows it does, and that on the 4th of March 2020, he toured it to ostensibly ascertain the state of preparedness of that magnificent edifice towards the fight against COVID-19. Surely, the president would not have Ghanaians believe that what he saw on his visit to the hospital was fantasy, or that he was walking on the pages of the Green Book when he undertook that tour. Or is the president telling the people of Ghana that when on the same 4th of March 2020, he toured the ultra-modern Terminal 3 at the Kotoka International Airport to learn about their COVID-19 preparedness, he was inspecting the Phantom facility? The president's assertion that President Mahama had stated that he constructed all roads in Ghana during his tenure, and that those roads cannot be found, is yet another falsehood that must not come from the occupant of the highest office of the land. I wish to put it beyond doubt, ladies and gentlemen, that President Mahama has never made such a claim anywhere or at any time. We would like to throw a direct challenge to the president to show where and when his predecessor said this or forever hold his peace. It is obvious that President Akufo-Addo invented this falsehood in a bid to mask his abysmal performance in road construction, as is the case in every other sector of national life. Between pages 100 and 113, the Green Book lists over 200 roads that had either been completed, were ongoing at the time, or which had been awarded on contract. Here too, I wish to state for emphasis that there is not a single road which was said to have been done in the Green Book that does not exist. He has never ceased telling the people of Ghana that his wobbly government has paid road contractors as much as 2 billion Ghana cedis in arrears owed them by the previous NDC government. Unless President Akufo-Addo is publicly admitting to paying contractors for no work done, it is extremely illogical and totally disrespectful to the people of Ghana for the same person to say that no road projects have been done by President Mahama, or that the roads exist only in the Green Book. On the screen. And the president's statement is on the screen. This is gleaned from the site of the presidency of the Republic of Ghana. Here, he states that he is paying road contractors, in fact, clearing President Mahama's debts. So I wish to ask, if President Mahama had not constructed roads, and the roads exist only in the Green Book, why is President Akufo-Addo paying contractors? It is perfectly legitimate for Ghanaians to demand that their roads be fixed, especially in areas where work on roads started by his predecessor have stalled because of vindictive but totally unjustified investigations carried out by his government, which yielded no results.
So you heard the former Deputy Communications Minister Felix Kwashifo. So while the party says it will be closely scrutinizing what the president's administration does about corruption, today it launched what it calls the Corruption Tracker Series. And according to officials of the party, the Corruption Tracker Series will expose misappropriation and embezzlement of state funds by officials of the Akufo-Addo administration. And they're saying that the tracker will give the electorates enough evidence to appreciate that government has shown little commitment in the fight against corruption. Now, let's talk about the voters register. Members of the Inter-Party Resistance Against the New Voters Register in the Northeast region have sent a formal complaint against the Electoral Commission to the Mamprugu overlord Na Bohagu Abdullahi Bahama Sheriga. The coalition, made up of executives of almost all the opposition parties in the region, in the petition, they expressed the opinion the Electoral Commission was embarking on a tacit attempt to subvert the Constitution of Ghana and suppress the people's will and impose a government over us, end quote, in the upcoming polls. Well, from the Upper East region, Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy, another CSO, have added their voice to the call for the Electoral Commission to suspend the planned voter registration. Bismarck Adongo Ayorogo is president of that group, and he joins us via Zoom. Many thanks for your time. A tacit attempt to subvert the Constitution of Ghana, suppress the people's will, and impose a government over us. Those are some very strong words. Do explain.
Thank you very much. I must say that we are not part of that group, but we are part of the Upper East Civil Society Organization that also held a press conference on Friday, putting almost raising the same issues for the attention of the EC to consider for us to all have the Ghana cards and then participate in the registration process.
All right, so tell us, what is your concern with the voters registration, the Electoral Commission and the voters and their decision to compile a new voters registration?
We, in our statement, we're calling on the Electoral Commission to immediately suspend the registration or the compilation of the new voters register. And our concern is this. If you look at the Upper East region here, the registrable population is over 700,000, but the NIA registered 220,191. Out of this number, just 6% of the total number registered with the NIA got their cards. So if we are to proceed to register or to compile the voters register, the new voters register, it means as it stands now, the 13,200 population in the Upper East region will be the only people that will qualify out of the registrable population of over 700,000. So we are asking the EC to immediately suspend the compilation of the voters register for all citizens of Ghana, particularly those of us from the Upper East region, to first get the card, the NIA card, and probably our passports, so that we can participate in the registration process. We know that we understand and know the effect of voters' population on any policy decision by any policymaker or government. And we think that if we do not raise concerns for the Electoral Commission to ensure that the registrable population of over 700,000 in the Upper East get to register, our development will be shortchanged, our development will be compromised, and in fact, it will be detrimental to our well-being.
Right. Let me just chip this in. The Electoral Commission has already indicated, it's set a date for the compilation of the register. In fact, it conducted a pilot a few weeks ago. Now, what are you hoping to achieve with this petition to these opinion leaders?
You see, what we are seeking to achieve is that the Electoral Commission must demonstrate high level of responsiveness and accountability to ordinary citizens of this country by listening to the concerns that we are raising. You are asking us to have NIA cards. You are asking us to have passports. You are holding the NIA, which is also another state institution, is holding our NIA cards, and majority of us are left without registration, and you want to proceed. We think that this is a calculated attempt to disenfranchise majority of us from this part of the country, and we think this is unacceptable. And that is why all of us are ensuring that prominent or eminent chiefs and opinion leaders from this part of the country and any other person that matters in maintaining peace in this country to help us talk to the Electoral Commission.
Very well. Many thanks for your time. So that is Bismarck Adongo Ayorogo. He's president of the Northern Patriots in Research and Advocacy. And speaking of the voters register, a group calling itself Concerned Citizens of the Upper West region have petitioned the traditional, religious and some opinion leaders in that region to prevail upon the Electoral Commission to change its mind about compiling the register. Spokesperson of the group, Prosper Poor Ire, said if the constitutional instrument matures after being laid in Parliament for 21 days, will not disenfranchise many people in the Upper West region. It will denationalize them as well. Now, before we go, there was a jubilation among supporters of Grace Addo when she was cleared to contest the Manson Kwanta primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Supporters of the former MP over the weekend were heard on various local radio platforms protesting information of disqualification of their candidate. The former MP is staging a comeback after she was unseated by Joseph Kwom in 2016 following a 2-year tenure. She pronounced herself winner of the primaries ahead of the elections.
Decided to disqualify me after I've been qualified at the vetting level. And later on, we realized there was that agitation that there was an appeal, and because of that, I've been disqualified. My people have never been happy because they have been yearning for a change, even though I've been on the seat before. And that is where they compared my performance to the current MP, and they needed to bring me back. So I'm sure now that I've been cleared to go for the contest, they are going to vote for me massively. Look at the number of people who are here supporting me. They were just worried because they heard that I will not be qualified to contest.
So 4 years ago, Mr. Joseph Kwam beat you in the race. Yes. What do you think this time he will do different to bring you back into the seat?
You will say he beat me in the race. I will accept that because any loss in a race is a loss. There was that difference of 1 vote. There was that difference of 1 vote. And you could realize that the election was just tight. And therefore, for him to do his work, he has to do extra work for people to accept him. Because.
And on that jubilant note, we draw the curtain on Election Brief for today. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Arba Kumsin. Join us same time tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Up next is Sports Today.